Okay, we're live now.
Yeah.
Hi,
Hello.
everybody. Welcome to our latest Headline Heroes one-on-one coaching session. This is T. Marie Bell, Amazon bestseller. And we're going to hear about the journey from our last coaching session to finally launching the Ghana Guidebook and hear about all of the whole journey.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you again for having me. I'm so happy we were able to come together. As you know, there's been like a lot going on. And as I
Mhm.
mentioned before, it's been a lot of hard work, a lot of unexpected ups and downs, a lot of sleepless nights. It's been a lot. It's been a journey. And so, do you want to just like hop right in?
Let's talk about any parts of the journey where the actual, like the AI automation parts that we talked about on the last call, where they helped or maybe where they didn't help.
Absolutely. Okay, so you were a major help in that regard because, as you know, I'm pretty green, when it comes to AI. I fought against it, didn't want any parts of it. But I
Mhm.
did definitely take your advice and utilized AI to assist with the launch in a way for ideas. Because I know you and I talked about some strategies, but then I leaned into it to say, just like you said, like talk to it like it's an assistant. And I said,
Mhm.
because my mind gets overwhelmed and I knew I was super pressed for time, without because most people start their pre-launches like months in advance, 6 months, 4 months. I did mine like what, a couple of weeks,
Mhm.
like 2, 3 weeks in advance.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like I know my audience, they're just like they want it now. So I felt like if I started way too early and it wasn't ready, that you just have to keep pounding the pavement and pounding people's heads about, this book, this project, this idea, this location. And I didn't want to do that because me myself too, I'm the same way. Give it to me now. Like, is it ready?
Right.
so so
Okay.
that being the case, I did, but again, I wasn't sure how to go about it, right? So I leaned into AI and I said, hey, give me a step-by-step plan on what I should do with these days and best,
Mhm.
utilize this time with what I have.
Maximize my time.
That's my time. Tell me what to do because we need to do it right now, right?
Hello.
And when I tell you they pushed out or it pushed out like a daily targeted plan that I needed, because while I have all these great ideas, as a creative, your mind goes 1,000 miles a minute and you just need that structure. So it was able to give me the structure that I needed to say, hey, do this on this day, do that on this day, ask this poll on this day.
Mhm.
And it was great. It was great because days where I was overwhelmed, I was able to hop right into it. And now I will say this, I did not follow it to a T, but it was a good roadmap for, because as you know, days change,
Yep.
headlines change with the news and things like
Mhm.
that.
The
And maybe
note.
that particular day, you just don't feel like posting those specific pictures. You just, for
Mhm.
whatever reason, you just don't. And so I would, kind of go in on other days and cater it to what I wanted and maybe venture off a little bit. But overall, I had like a bona fide roadmap. And I would not have had that without the AI guide.
Mhm.
Would have had it maybe, but it would not have been as polished and to
Did
the
it
point.
help with content creation and automation in terms of mapping out exactly what you were going to post and when?
Yes. Yes. Okay, so when I initially, and that's the thing about AI. You have to be very specific on
Mhm.
what you want it to do, because initially I said, "Hey, just give me a framework," right? And it gave me the days and what to post that day. But then I
Mhm.
said, "No, what's the best time to post this? Because my days will get busy. I'll look up. It might be, 10 a.m. At one point, 8 p.m. the next time I look, come back around." So I said, no, give me some specific times, that I should make this happen. And boom, a whole nother plan appeared, right? And that made it even easier and more targeted so that if your day kind of got away from you, you still
Yeah.
had these daily points that you knew you had to particularly make. And
Mhm.
also too, I was able to go in to Instagram as well and set scheduled postings. Now, the thing
Great.
I don't like, or the thing I think was challenging for me, because Instagram it doesn't allow you to schedule your stories, or if it does, I don't know how to do it. So
Use a third party like later.com. Actually, Pam, you're here on this. Can you schedule a story? Pam is the Instagram guru. She'll let us know, but I know that we use later.com for sure.
And you
And
might be right.
I think HubSpot helps with some of that as well.
Because for me, that would have been also super helpful if I could have been able to schedule some of those stories, because I find with my audience, a lot of them like to just hop in on stories, right?
Mhm.
Some may hop into the main page, but ultimately a lot of them are in the stories.
Mhm.
And so that felt like more work for me, because here I had something scheduled, but then I had to remember to go back in and
And,
actually post
and
the
jump
stories.
on
So it felt
stories.
like a lot of work on top of everything else I had going on.
Mhm.
So, but I will say that was an incredible help, like us speaking about better ways to utilize AI
Mhm.
for book launch, because it was so helpful. And it did take away a lot of the extra stress that I
Mhm.
had.
And what parts of the journey? Because when you talk about a 3 to 4 week book launch, that's super aggressive. But
Mhm.
also, to me, sometimes I find that when you abbreviate the timeline, you shock yourself with what you're able to get done in that abbreviated timeline, and then you grow confidence to then start getting bolder and adding stuff onto it and doing stuff that you hadn't originally planned. How did that go, like in terms of getting all the way to launch? I know you pushed the launch back for a couple days, right?
I did. So,
And
and
did you launch hard copy and digital or just
both. I
great?
launched both, and we can actually talk about that too, for a
Hmm.
moment, because I was literally super stressed out. Initially, this book was supposed to launch on February 26, 26. And I experienced something that had never ever occurred before, right? I would say maybe 5 days before the book launch, Amazon actually had an internal glitch, which just seems freaky, right? This is a huge conglomerate, right? They do things on time, but
And every day.
right. Something occurred within their system where I was literally in there just kind of like about to make a minor change to my book, and I got
Mhm.
locked out right when I was about to do the pricing. And it said, it locked me out. I jumped back in and just signed right back in. The pricing said, this book is $0, and it was worldwide across like all of all the countries, the US. I said, oh, you got me messed up. Like,
Right.
no, not all this work I put into it. So I'm on the phone with Amazon like all day, literally the whole weekend, trying to figure out what is going on. They admitted there was an internal glitch, and they were like, okay, so it's fixed, but your ebook can launch on that date, but your paperback will have to launch much later. We still need to review it. And I said, that's unacceptable. Like, we can't do this. So I'm like literally freaking out, because as you know, I've told people the book was going to launch on the 26th.
Yep.
And so I just felt helpless. I was frustrated. I was going crazy. And it took my brother. He said, "You know what? Just calm down." He said, "It's a lot of people that are like having heart attacks and strokes and things." He said, "It's a book. It'll be okay. You'll still get it out. Maybe it's a reason you're not supposed to launch on that day."
Right.
And I was like, you know what? That's a good approach, because what can I do right now anyway? So I told them, we're not launching 2 books on 2 different dates. We'll just push it out to, of course, March 26th,
Yep.
26.
Yep.
And I'll utilize this time to go back in, take another read, just kind of like just do like the fine tuning.
Hmm.
And let me tell you this, how God works in mysterious ways. As I ordered another author's proof, which I wouldn't have done because the book would have launched in 5 days, as you know.
Yep.
Order this author's proof. As I'm reading through it, page 5, 6, somewhere early on in the book, where I'm all excited, basically like, hey, this is what happens when you get to Ghana. They welcome you. You say this back. You say a quaba back, which, well, they tell you a quaba, which means welcome, right?
Hmm.
I'm reading it. Autocorrect corrected a quaba to a kumbe, which
Mm-mm.
does not mean welcome. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean welcome. And so basically, I was like, oh my God, this is insane. This
Hmm.
is like someone, telling whoever is coming to America to say, like, hey, over there, to say welcome, right? And it's inaccurate. And so I was like, oh my God, let me go in here and fix this,
And
which I
see
was
how
able to do.
they line them right all the way up.
And I'm thinking to myself, especially for the connections I've made in Ghana, who are also new about the book and were excited for it to come out, who who are natives to Ghana, they would have been looking, anyone would have, who understand the culture, it would have basically, like you said, it could have challenged the credibility. Like, how are you saying this early in the book and it's wrong, right? It would have just shattered everything else later on. So I say all this to say God makes things happen for a reason.
All the time.
All the time, that you may not understand, that you're freaking out about, where it's pausing your project, it's pausing your dream or something you want, and you don't understand why, because in your head, it's ready to go. Like, let's do this. It was not ready to go, but it was not something I did personally. It was, so here we had the Amazon glitch, and then we have the autocorrect in my book that my computer did, right? So these are just, things occurring that needed to pause for me to catch. So you have to just, I realize and learn that sometimes you just have to take a beat and take a breath and just trust God and not try to control everything yourself, and just understand there's a reason these things are happening, and be calm and patient,
Well, that right there is what I always like to rely on. I mean, I like to refer to as alignment, right? So
absolutely.
I'm not going to take you all the way through all of that work and then let one little simple mistake derail all the credibility, the authority, and everything that was put into it, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's when like, you're doing this for a reason. The delays were necessary and they helped. In the end, they were big blessings, those delays. Amazon's mistake saved you a whole lot of headache.
They say delay is not denial.
Delay is not denial. No, it is not. It's time to actually catch the fire before it goes. Well, congratulations. I am so excited for you. So let's talk about this Amazon bestseller status. That is so freaking big. I was very excited to see that and share it all over my page, because I was like, yes, headline hero. Okay, now let's talk about it. How many days was it out before that happened?
I want to say just 5 or 6. It wasn't that long. But like I say, it was not easy. There was, like, I would say definitely up to the launch. For a week straight, I got literally 2 to 3 hours of sleep. Like, I was not going to bed until literally 4 a.m. every day. I would have been up at like 9 a.m. And it was so bad that one of my friends said, this is not okay. You have to sleep. Like, you can't just run yourself crazy like this, because I was pretty much, a one-man show. I had someone else helping me here and there. And then, of course, a couple other people who would put eyes on things and opinions here and there. But overall, it was me. And so I literally thought I was going to pass out at one point, which I don't recommend for anyone. It was seriously, and only two, because there was like we mentioned before, there were so many pauses on the first part of the launch that I said, hey, I don't want any mistakes. So I was just kind of like double and triple checking everything, because I'm OCD. Right?
Yeah.
And then 2, heavily leaning into my community too. Because another thing I noticed is that there's something, when you and I have this conversation, there's definitely something going on with Instagram's algorithm. I'm trying to figure out, because before, and as you know, my page was private before we had that conversation, where I had all these hundreds of likes and things. And then I took it public, and it's just like a crazy, not getting the traction I used to get. So I'm freaking out, like, oh my God, my book's about to launch. What is going on? I'm posting this, I'm posting that. It's not getting, what is happening. So I'm reaching out to my, I would say my sideline partners, as well as my team, like a launch team, because I really needed them to get the eyes on this, to get the exposure, the word of mouth. Because like I said, my algorithm was getting pretty kooky and crazy. And I talked to a couple of other Black creators who were saying the same thing. So we'll dive into that another time, but
because that's what we have no control over.
Right. So I had to get crafty and creative to think of other ways to put eyes on my project, and just thank God. And that's why I do feel like sometimes, all the time, there is a divine covering when things are supposed to fall into place, and when God really wants you to move and has purpose for you in certain ways, you're going to mark. And I'm just seeing this, like I said, even from all of the things that went crazy previously in the launch. So I just feel like it's a project where, God really just want me to put this out there for lots of reasons. And as you know, Ghana is the wave right now with people wanting to move there, visit there. They're putting themselves on the map with that whole, you guys are going to recognize that slavery as being a International War Act, criminal
The
acts,
gravest of crimes.
crimes, right? So it's like I feel I'm actually kind of happy I can come in right now within all this momentum to share. Yeah, guys, you need to go there. You need to visit. You need to understand your history, or if it's not directly your history, still when I say that, because some people, may have been from other parts that were not really affected as badly as African Americans and people of the Caribbean and South America and what have you. But you still need to understand, like, the history. Go visit, especially if your ancestors experienced it. So I'm just more excited that I was able to go experience it for myself and then want to share it with everyone else and give the tools they need once they get there and share places to go and what have you. And then also historical context as well. So I just feel like it was a divine intervention as well, because it was hard, which is why I lost so much sleep. But then to see, like you said, the flip side of hitting Amazon bestseller,
In 5 days.
Yeah, that
Come
was.
on now.
Thank you.
Okay. Come on now. I don't even understand this, but I know what this means. Okay, so
Clock it.
one more thing I have to ask you about before I get into like the next level of coaching, and that is I saw the Ghana cooking class video today. And though that is featured in the book, correct?
Yes, I speak about did I speak about the Ghana cooking class in the book? I believe I did touch base on it because there were so many things that I did. I believe it is in there because there's so much in there. Like there's so many different places we went. It's definitely featured on the YouTube channel. I have to upload that for YouTube.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things that will be on YouTube that I mentioned in the book. Because I give them a link, as you know, to say like, hey, go to this link to see extended footage outside of the book. Because there's only so much that I could put in the books. I wanted to make it immersive where, hey guys, this is what you need as far as like the hard items, vaccines, the immunizations, the visas, and then when you get there, boots on the ground, where to go, those kind of things. But then all the visuals, I also wanted to share and say, hey, click this link because there's going to be a lot of ongoing long form, like hour, 30 minutes type video to give you that information and visuals that you need that I just cannot place in a book. So it's kind of like two-sided, twofold. Which I think is helpful for people who are wanting to visit the motherland. They'll get the full gamut, the full scope of what's happening there.
Well, the video of the cooking class was completely interactive. It was engaging. It was great. It was shot really well. And that teasing those experiences as things that you can find out more about in the guidebook, that is going to at least help to boost your Instagram algorithm return on investment. The more you can do those live in-person experiences, that's your own original content. It's not AI produced, correct?
Right now, absolutely not.
Stuff. Yeah. So that's all going to help you on that page. One last question: did you ever launch the e-blast campaign to your people leading up to the launch?
I did.
Great.
I did. And that was done in double fold. Like that was done so many different ways: text, social media, and around the clock, like nonstop. It wasn't a one-time thing. It was consistent. Thankfully, my team, my family, my friends, my support system, associates, business colleagues, they don't, get irritated with me, reaching out to them and constantly giving information.
Yep.
And honestly, as you know, with marketing, it's just something you have to do because not everyone's going to be upset. Maybe some people were irritated, like this is too much, but
people always get irritated by e-blast campaigns. The thing is that 1% of people who get irritated by it do not really. If you have most of your list that is irritated, then you're hitting the wrong people. You should be hitting people who have already expressed an interest in what you have to offer. An e-blast list gives the biggest return on investment over time as you become a reliable source of information. That's why I don't care who you are. If you're starting with 50 people, if you're starting with 100 people, investment in an e-blast list is going to give you your biggest return on investment over time. You just have to make sure you're e-blasting on a consistent basis, once a month, once a week, whatever it is, because they need to know that information is coming.
Absolutely. And I was going to say too, what I've noticed, and when you say e-blast as well, I highly encourage people, you'd be surprised how many contacts you have in your personal cell phone. I would say on average, most people definitely have over 100, maybe 200 more. And send it through your personal cell phone too. Just, it has to be a collective effort. And I will say though, that then you'd be surprised, word of mouth, those people start forwarding your information. And I have such a great support system, especially when it comes to friends as well, friends, family, because I'm always shocked. Even after, the actual launch, people are still sharing those different kind of announcements and Discover Ghana, your central travel guide, on their stories without me even asking, which I'm so grateful for.
Yes.
Because it does have to be in consistent rotation. It's not just a one-time launch thing. It's consistent work. And that's the hard thing about, self-publishing. You have to keep promoting yourself.
And every single person who shares is worth gold. Also, aggressively sourcing feedback, right? Like, for the next person who writes a review, gives feedback, comments on so and so, there's incentives. Like if you drop a freebie or something like that type of stuff goes a long way. All right, now that you have made the Amazon bestsellers list for travel guides to Africa, that is what we like to call in these parts social proof, right? So now that you have that big piece of social proof, what are we going to do with that nice, big, juicy, ripe piece of social proof? This is where we now start positioning for PR, press, visibility, and ultimately establishing authority as a person who is the go-to person for travel guides to the motherland, right? So with this piece, have you turned it into, aside from I'm sharing it, I think in your stories, I definitely reshared it in my stories. How many other pieces of content have you made out of that?
So that's where I really need to lean into this discussion, because that's where I'm a little stuck and I'm trying to figure out next moves and the best way to position myself. Of course, I have my freebie ready, which I'm going to upload.
What's the freebie again?
So I have a freebie as my packing list.
Yes.
And also the cultural do's and don'ts.
We talked about that
on
the last coaching session. Wonderful. And is it a slick look, looks beautiful, something great, nice design, because a freebie has to look sexy.
So it's a really cute design. So it's ready to go. I didn't post it yet. I didn't list it on the link yet for Linktree, but I need to. And so that's where I'm stuck, because I'm trying to figure out, okay, do I just go ahead and post the freebie now to capture, like the connection for emails and stay in the know and stay in contact? And then two, I really want to do podcasts now, because what I've been doing is, like you said, soft touching people within Ghana posts on social media, like on Instagram. And that's such a slow, it works, but it's work. Like
it's a slog. That's what we call that.
Yes.
Long, slow slog.
Yes, it works, but it's so much work to like just build those soft relationships. And that's exactly what it is. It's necessary, but I'm just trying to figure out how to intertwine all of these things together and what's the quickest way to make it happen. I'm so at the point, like, should I just lean into PR, and just pay to get certain things done, which, as you know, is expensive. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do next and what's going to be and I think I need to learn patience too, because I'm like, what's the fastest strategy?
So as a Headline Heroes community member, the very first thing I'm going to tell you is definitely do not need to pay for PR, because that's thousands and thousands of dollars. When you already have social proof, which is one of the hardest things to get, now it's what you do with that. So the very first thing I would say, actually two things can happen simultaneously, right? So you have the launch of the freebie, and you have the positioning of the social proof. So the first thing you probably need to do is position the social proof, because when you attract people like bees to honey for the freebie, they see the social proof, right? So then they're like, oh, Amazon bestseller, that needs to be in your Instagram bio, your YouTube bio. You need an e-blast that just has the screenshot of the fact that it's on the Amazon bestsellers list for travel guides to Africa. That needs to be on any platform that you have. That needs to be going out tomorrow.
Okay.
Right? Like not a whole lot of words, but just letting people know that, hey, this book that I have been working on this launch, it made the Amazon bestsellers list for this, and this is where you can find it. Links, at least 3 links in your email. Link it and make sure it's in your description, because now you are a 2-time published author, and you made the Amazon bestsellers list. And make sure they have a link to purchase the book and to see that bestsellers piece in your Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok bio, right? All of that needs to be right there. So first thing you're going to do when you get off of this call is make sure everywhere where your name appears, it also says Amazon bestseller and bestseller for books and travel guides. And then you're going to make sure you draft that email, get that queued up to go out to your list, and that you create a social post on all platforms you participate in, even if it's LinkedIn too. Make sure that you have one post just dedicated to the fact that you have, in 5 days, we made the Amazon bestseller list. And then so that's one piece, right? You make sure the titles on all the pages are done, the bios, that you get a post up, and you do your e-blast. So that's there. No matter, so when people come to visit your page from now on, they see that that is your new status, right?
Okay.
And then you launch the freebie, let's say a week from today. The freebie, you need a graphic that makes it look super slick and sexy. And then you need a big red alert, the red fire alarm light on your Instagram, the emoji that says, if you're traveling to Ghana or planning to travel anytime soon, you need this, right? And then we'll do an e-blast about the freebie for sure. That'll be at least a week out after your email about the Amazon bestsellers list. And you do in your newsletters, you always have a link where people can subscribe, right? Because you pick up a few more people every time you do an e-blast.
Well, I need to do one to capture emails. Like I haven't started giving out. I haven't started a newsletter yet, or just like, reaching people via email to say, hey, so I'm trying to capture, and I'm working on capturing emails now.
Okay, so let's take a step back. Who were you emailing, and how were you getting those out leading up to your launch? Was that one-on-one emails?
So no, when it came to the launch itself, it was text. I wasn't doing actual emails.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you were yes to the email question.
No, okay. It was more so the text blast, and also social media, but not emails. Because I was going to develop the freebie to begin capturing email addresses.
That definitely needs to happen as well, to capture the email addresses. But before you even get to that, you need to pick an email client. You need. What
about MailChimp?
I used MailChimp years and years ago, and then they were supposed to close down, but they didn't close down, and then you could still get them as part of Shopify. It was weird. So I would say for long-term success, I would say Active Campaign. They have a whole lot more add-ons, but they are the most expensive one. I also have a Constant Contact one I've had for 20 years, literally.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And also there's ShopKit. There's Klaviyo. There's so many, but just pick one. You don't have any emails to start with, so I would say
not like I need, not like I would prefer.
How many do you have? 20, 50, 100?
I would say probably about 50, but I feel like I need more than that.
Okay, you do. You don't need more than that to start. You would start with that 50. When Saptosa and I started our e-blast list 20 years ago, it was 2,000 people. Okay. And now it's like 27,000 people.
Nice. That's a lot.
And we handpicked everybody. We didn't just dump everybody that we knew in there. It was a hand-picked, curated list of potential clients, of people from the music business, from the film business, from the political world, influencers, celebs, that kind of thing. So it was, and anybody who wanted to sign up could sign up. But
Okay.
here's the thing is that you could start with 50. That's fine, no problem. It's just that you need to pick the email client with
Mhm.
only 50. The bonus to only having 50 to 100 email addresses is
Mhm.
that it is going to be damn near free.
Yeah.
The more addresses you have, the higher the price gets. Because we're over 20,000, we're paying $300 a month, no matter what service we go to.
Right.
Because for them to house 20,000 names, it's going to
Mhm.
be over $300, no matter where you go. You got 50 names. I
Mhm.
probably, I don't know, $20 a month, something like that.
Pretty
So
much.
getting that set up takes an hour or two. Get it
Mhm.
set up, put your logos in so that every time you blast something out, it looks exactly the same. Set up your template and then start dropping that information into it. This is 2 hours worth of work,
Yeah.
not more than that.
Yeah.
So that should be 2 hours that we can spend getting that done today. So let's
Mhm.
start with your deliverables list. We are changing our bios on YouTube,
Mhm.
Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you are, to Amazon bestseller, right?
Mhm.
And we're mentioning something about the freebie coming soon, something like that, some kind of date that we're going to drop that freebie. Packing list coming soon, packing list drops May 5th, whatever. And that's the first piece of homework is just changing the titles in your bios because that's where people find out who you are. The second piece is setting up that email client like yesterday
Yeah.
because you need to be capturing those email addresses, and that is again highest return on investment no matter what you're doing,
Yeah.
because those are going to be people who have an active investment and interested in what you're talking about. And the more that you put it out there to them and they tell other people, you attract other people who are interested in what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
So then once we pick the email client, we draft those e-blasts and we start getting them scheduled. You're going to schedule an e-blast about the Amazon bestsellers list. So that goes out. And then a week later, you're going to launch a freebie.
Mhm.
And you're going to put as many possible links as you could link to. I mean, I know it sounds redundant and kind of ridiculous because one of the things I learned from all of my coaches that I have hired over the last couple of years is you cannot link to that thing enough. People need a reminder every other sentence. Just keep linking to it so they can go straight to it and download it. Now, my next question would be for you, where they're going to pick up the freebie? Is it on your website?
I'm going to place it on the website. Yes.
Okay.
There'll be a link there. So the way I was going to set it up with, there will be a link. They would click, of course, supply or provide their information as far as email, and then automatically the freebie will be delivered to them.
Great.
Via
So via email.
email.
Okay. Yeah. So the reason why I like a lot of people have a freebie where you just click it and you can download it immediately and don't have to go anywhere. The
Mhm.
reason why I like a link that takes you to the site is
Mhm.
because they may have not ever been to your site before.
Right.
They don't have to go a whole lot of places. It should be one landing page they go on to put that email address in, and then they can leave immediately. You don't want to hold them hostage and then have to scroll and try to find anything, right? We're not trying to do a hostage situation, but we just want them to actually know this is a destination. So
Mhm.
they go to that one landing page. It's slick, it's beautiful, it reflects the same artwork from the freebie,
Mhm.
and then they can keep it moving. And so that was what they're paid. They paid with their email address. They got the freebie with the packing list and whatever other guide you're giving away for free.
Okay.
So very minimal investment there. Got that, and then you get that set up, and you move on to the next thing, which is e-blasting about the freebie that you set up and creating a new piece of content about the freebie. You
Okay.
definitely need at least 5 different style stories for your freebie because people click those links in the stories to get something free.
Mhm.
Quick, no time investment necessary. Bells, whistles, flashing arrow, bouncing up and down above the link. Click here to get your free. All of that. They
Mhm.
need.
Okay. That
So
sounds
those things will make a huge difference.
I think so. And I guess let me ask you this, because it's piggybacking on off of what we discussed a second ago. Because I know there's other emails I could add in there that's probably like more so client and then family friends, which would boost it up to probably about 150, 200 emails
Mhm.
I
Yep.
already have. But I don't know. should I include those people as well within this? Okay.
I email everybody. I
Okay.
was the person over the years when we were building the e-blast list that was like, who did we meet today? Dump them in there. Zapdos used to be like, we can't do that. I'm like, dump them in there. They'll unsubscribe. They always have the option to unsubscribe. Unsubscribe if you want to. If
Okay.
they don't unsubscribe, they seen something that they want to see.
Okay. So I'll add those people as well.
Add them all. And just say, if you'd like to stop these emails, click the link at the bottom and make unsubscribing very easy.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
And then they may tell somebody, they may, like I'm a firm believer in absolutely. I mean, you have their email addresses because you guys you didn't buy them, right? Now that I'm against. You don't buy email addresses from anybody from that to me is, I don't understand it. It drives me nuts. But if I have interacted with you and I have your email address, I'm going to email it. If you want if you want to unsubscribe, that's fine.
Right.
I mean, I'll give you an example. Like when I launched Headline Heroes in October, probably over the course of 6 weeks, it was like 500 out of 27,000 people who unsubscribed. I'm happy to unsubscribe all 500 of you. That's it. I'm happy to get you to the exit door as quickly as humanly possible, and you never have to hear from me again. And what is that? Less than 1%?
Absolutely. Now you have your tribe. So
and everybody else wanted to stay. And they wanted to see what I have to say.
Yeah.
And that's there's people out of that list. People subscribed again, or they clicked right through to the link. I'm getting like 60 people a day going to download the freebie. Like is for 500 people unsubscribe, I'm fine. I release you to go be great. And that's just it.
Exactly.
To go be great.
I love it.
And so, because a lot of people are afraid of rejection. And the truth is that at least where we are today, it's my understanding in this Black woman's skin that I'm in, if we do not be aggressive about the outreach, it is not going to come to and knock on my door. I have to take risks. I have to risk rejection. And the truth is that the rejection usually comes from the lowest vibrational, like the lowest denominator. Like it's usually 1% of the whole, right? Or, the people who are lurking just so that they could see what you're doing, so they could hate on it or be upset. Absolutely. That is completely fine. Like, and I'm talking about somebody who was really struggling the last 3 years to even get on social media because my confidence took a major blow in terms of, the people who are hating and they're looking at it. And I'm like, what difference does it make if they are looking at it? They're not going to say anything. And I don't even know who they are. So what difference does it make?
You have to push forward and go on.
Absolutely. And the truth is, nobody hates somebody who has nothing going on. That's a fact. My mom used to say that all the time. She was like, well, they certainly aren't hating anybody who's unemployed and has nothing going on. So she's like, you getting all that hate. There must be a reason.
Because you have something going on. And you're absolutely correct. When you are actually living in your truth and being productive, positive, and making those strides, right? And like you said, who cares? Because you're doing what you need to do. You have your audience who loves you, and just keep being great. That's all we can do.
We just have to keep presenting value.
Absolutely.
That's the purpose of the freebie, is to present value. Every e-blast that you send out should not be just surface level. It should always be adding a new piece of information for every e-blast. I do not believe in sending out an e-blast that doesn't have some kind of information that the reader can find helpful, right? Always be presenting value. That's the key to longevity, because you will get a lot of unsubscribes if people can't find something that they can use in there.
I understand.
The purpose of the book and why God blessed you with this idea is because he knew that there is an audience for it. This is an offer that people are already looking out for.
That's true.
It wasn't available. Now it is. And all of the people who are in my feed who are talking about they up and moved to Ghana. I mean, that's a huge, that's building momentum in terms of people who at least want to just go and see what it's like. All these people are moving there. I'm hearing, I got two feeds that are all that are all violating my algorithm, and that is Black people moving to Thailand, which I do not understand, not even one little bit. I mean, the condos do look amazing, but and then the Black people who are just like, I'm out. I went to Ghana and I'm not looking back. And everybody's living in these high-rise penthouse condos for like $300 a month. I'm like, damn.
It's incredible. And honestly too, that's another reason why I did want to present the information to let people know you have options. Like we, granted, yes, we were born here, we have history here, this is our country just as much or more than anyone, anyone else's.
We built this country.
Of course we did. So, but if for people who also want to go see where we originated from,
yes,
to have that option as well, and to know there's an easy roadmap to get there, you don't have to figure it all out yourself. So,
and it's not scary and it's not foreign, and there's all kinds of luxuries, modern luxuries and all of that.
Absolutely.
Those are the things that people need to see. All like that cooking class was so fun. I watched that today. I'm the master of dropping 5 to 10-second videos like that about different experiences. That should be part of the long-term Instagram strategy, and cutting those into like one-on-ones that you do like this, like just talking about the Ghanaian experience, and then cutting in some of that video. That definitely needs to be part of the strategy as well.
Okay.
Also, oh, thank you. I don't even know who that is on LinkedIn, but that's the sweetest comment. Thank you. Yeah, isn't that nice? So much value you give to us, Shante. Thank you both for the nuggets today. And then what'd you say?
So that's awesome. That was a very sweet comment.
Sweet comment, right? The next thing I wanted to talk about was you touched on the word podcast.
Yes.
And here's what I think you should be doing, especially as a Headline Heroes community member. You should designate a specific number, 5, 10, 15 episodes that you're going to start this podcast. The podcast is named after the book.
Okay.
It's 2 complementary pieces. In the podcast, we're talking about all the different experiences from the book. So you might want to do it chapter by chapter or experience by experience. Are you the lady who did the cooking class today from the video, would she make herself available for 15 minutes to do a podcast with you?
I could see she probably would be. I don't know why she would not be. That's a great idea. I could reach out and investigate that to see.
Any other vendors that you have purchased something from?
Yes, I kept in contact with a few of them. There was a guy, of course, we have to do all of our conversation through WhatsApp, but there was a gentleman who I haven't, like I said, there's so many experiences that I have not even posted about yet that are in the book, like a Dinkra class. Like there's just so many different, there's a naming ceremony where we met with the chief and, you put on this African kente cloth regalia and get a new African name. Like there's so many, because we were there for so long and there's so much information and videos and reels that I'm still in the process of uploading, but I can get in contact, of course, with a lot of these individuals. And that's a perfect idea because I'd never considered that, to have
every single one of the relationships you made in Ghana should be a person you interview for a podcast episode.
Thank you.
A lady from the cooking class, the guy who gave you a new African name, the girl who runs a Pilates class where you were, all of those different things. And they should speak as cultural experts who are based there in Ghana. And when you have people traveling from the US to Ghana, here's what you can expect from this experience. If you can find 10 people, that's a 10 podcast episode. Even people who have already bought the book and went to Ghana, and let's say they wrote a review, or they're your people and you know that they had used this book, interview them for an episode of the podcast.
Okay.
What is your experience like? Because you're in the business of experiences. That's what you're selling. If you want a prime optimal experience when you go to Ghana, this is what I'm trying to guide you on in this book. Here are the places and the people that you need to see. If the podcast all of a sudden explodes out of nowhere, business owners in Ghana will be reaching out to you to interview them for your podcast. If it doesn't, at the very least, you have a complimentary media piece to enhance your book.
Okay. Okay, that's going to be stepping outside of my comfort zone with a podcast, but it's something. It sounds like I need to definitely initiate and begin. So
So how about this? Let's keep it in your comfort zone and just say you're shooting a one-on-one conversation on StreamYard. There
okay,
we go. Took all the pressure of podcast off of it, and you're gonna still do the same thing, just like we're doing right this second. You're gonna do a two-person conversation on StreamYard, and you're gonna have fun with it. You're gonna interview this
yes,
person, and you're gonna post it, and you're gonna cut it into a bunch of little clips on Opus Clips,
okay,
and you are going to use that content to enhance the value your people get from your book.
I like that. Thank you, Sean. See, that's why you are awesome. Thank you. Like seriously, the way we have these conversations and you just really share and drop so many gems. I really appreciate you.
Yep,
Thank
I'm telling you, that's why we're in. She's a headline heroes.
you.
Everybody, you got to get in the community.
Yes.
These gems. So
Join, join.
listen, headline heroes, community member with an Amazon best-selling book, well,
Absolutely.
a bestseller in travel guides to add to
Mhm.
the motherland. Okay, in 5 days, bestseller.
Yes.
This is what happens when you join Headline Heroes.
It's
So
true.
let's talk about, okay, so the social proof piece, right?
Mhm.
We got through that.
Mhm.
Now let's talk about media angles that we can generate, because you did the bio makeovers, you did
Mhm.
the e-blast setup, you got the content about the bestseller, you've got the content for the freebie, the e-blast for the freebie, and you're pushing that out there. So you've now got two different verticals of content going out. So this is literally your spring strategy. Now you have to take which pieces you are going to get and turn into media angles,
Okay.
because what we're doing now is finding all of the media outlets that would cover a book like this or cover travel to Ghana. And we're letting them know that this book is performing well on Amazon, and that it's providing value and solving problems for people who are traveling abroad. So what if if you got a chance to get covered in your dream media outlet, what would it be?
Dream media outlet. Well, long term, of course, like television would be something like, the Jennifer Hudson show, or, um, something that I would say is culturally on target for what I do. Like, of course, like even the Breakfast Club, like something that has a lot of eyes, that's still a very much urban, progressive type outlet. Something like that. The question I have is, how do you even tap into something like that? How would I tap into something like that, without PR presence? As far as reaching out to those particular brands, where they take you seriously. I know the good thing is I do have, of course, the Amazon best-selling authority under my wing, but even still reaching out, there's so many emails and so many people within those departments, like who's the right person, how do I position myself within that? So that's where those are some of the questions I was going to ask you today.
Yep.
How to best position myself to reach out to those particular media outlets, as well as some of the smaller ones, like the local ones in Atlanta, our radio stations here as well, or even um, some of the podcasters, because I actually did DM a couple of people. Again,
Mhm.
that was actually before the bestsellers, so. But like crickets, so maybe I need to revisit and reach back out a
Yep.
second time. And then too, I'm concerned, especially with, like I was saying before, with social media, especially with Instagram. Sometimes your DMs don't reach these people's main boxes, so you don't even know if they saw it or not, and you're just
Or
kind
their intern got it, or their social media coordinator, or somebody who is totally uninvested in helping you to actually make contact.
of for
So
sure.
let's talk about a couple of things. So the Amazon bestseller thing,
Mhm.
it has not established authority. What it has done is it's your first piece of social proof. And
Okay.
with that, we're going to use that to get media coverage, which does build authority.
Okay.
Now, anytime you write a book, it is an authority building tool, but
Mhm.
it doesn't establish the authority until you've sold a certain amount of copies.
Understandable.
So that's what we're doing first, is we're using that. Now, you said Jennifer Hudson and the Breakfast Club.
Mhm.
Those are great dream outlets to pick, right?
For sure.
but starting locally first, but also not even just locally, but applying the nuance, right?
Okay.
So, who on the largest media outlets has been discussing already an interest in traveling to Ghana or Africa?
Mhm.
And those are the places where you start. People who have already expressed an interest in the kind of travel that you're talking about. Because
Question for you. When you said people, are you pointing to like celebrities
media
or
figures,
media?
like what on air personalities on
Mhm.
radio or podcasters
Mhm.
or columnists or people who are on like has um has Tamron Hall or Sherry Shepherd or
I've
Jennifer
heard of
Hudson,
this.
or even locally people who are doing the local, like local shows. Actually, there in Atlanta, Jackie Reed, who
Mhm.
used to be on NBC, she has a really great platform that would be great for you to be featured on. But people who have traveled to Africa or are planning trips to Africa, like talking to them about what you have going on, that's a smart move. And it's actually low hanging fruit. It's people who you don't have to do a whole lot of heavy convincing for it to make sense to them that you be on the show, because this is something that they're already interested in discussing.
Absolutely. I have to go back through my notes and feeds too, because I do know Idris Elba just actually he's opening a movie studio there, and he's been actually
Yes.
promoting that. So there are, like you said, a lot of people who have heavy interest in
Mhm.
relocating there, and they're actually having major businesses established. So yeah, I need
And
to
he's
just.
from Sierra Leone, right? Pretty sure he is.
I think he is, but yeah, the fact that he's positioning his studio in Ghana is pretty incredible. But yes,
Mm-hmm.
I need to
Yes.
go back and do a little bit more research on talking points and who's actually more so, like you said, covering
Mm-hmm.
God that light where I can kind of like position myself to get in front of those particular people.
Mm-hmm. Like, there are podcasters who, I'm gonna do a quick search right now. Podcasters talking about Ghana. I mean, this is the type of stuff where Chat GPT comes in, and if you want to take it up a notch, Claude,
Mm,
like just literally creating some type of daily, weekly, um, daily task for Chat
okay.
GPT or for Claude or Perplexity, but whichever one you like. But
Mhm.
setting up a daily task where it scours the web for anybody talking about Ghana, and it will send you the top 5 to 10 if that's what you ask it to do.
I did
Now
not know
that's
that. I'm gonna look
me
into that.
finding it for you.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I have a daily task that's set up for me every morning at 9 a.m. And what Chat GPT's job is to just send me an alert every day that lets me know what new innovations are coming within Chat GPT.
Wow.
And then I have another one that's set up where it gives me the top 5 business news stories every day. So you tell
AI
it
is
what to
incredible.
tell.
Jeez, it literally can do almost anything. Like every time we come together and have these conversations about AI, I'm always blown away by like just new inventive ways to use it. And I feel like, and I know I'm not tapping into it enough, but again, thank you, because that's something I easily can do, and start getting that information instead of, because initially I'm so old school. I'm like, let me go once we get off of this call and I'm gonna go dig in and do all of this research and figure it out. And you're just like, no, tap into AI.
Absolutely. And then not only that, like I feel like I have been one of them people who has been waiting for AI. If there's anybody on here who's listening and you have been a superhero movie fan, how many people have been jealous of Iron Man's relationship with Jarvis? He can literally ask Jarvis anything. For years I have been like, I need Jarvis. Now I feel like I have it. I've named all my people. I've got Nico Narrative for
Okay.
when I need a YouTube script created.
Mhm.
Caleb Cashflow when I need to draft a sales page. I have Sterling Scale for when we need to come up with some digital product innovation.
Mhm.
Like, I'm like, yes, I finally got my Jarvis. And I mean, this is like, why would you not use it, right? Because it's there, and it's a wonderful time to be alive and to be able to build on all these techie innovations. So let me tell you what I came up with,
Okay.
right? Just this 2-second search. So podcast about Ghana, Ghana Travel Diaries with Abina. Have you heard of that?
No.
Okay. The Sound of Accra podcast, Talking Ghana.
No.
And I don't think it's going to be the end of original thought, James. I just because people are still necessary, right? It still needs your secret sauce. It still
Okay.
needs you. Like it still needs the soul in the thinking. All it can do is take direction. Without direction, it's not doing anything. Um, the Sound of Accra
Okay.
podcast, Talking Ghana, Ghana Africa in Focus, and Ghana Girls Talk. These are the people you're focusing on,
Yes.
doing something with, gifting the book,
Okay.
whatever you need to do with them, so that asking them if you can be on the podcast.
Yeah.
Just soft ask, what's your 1 minute wow? Tell them that you have the Amazon bestsellers,
Mhm.
made the list, and just actually what I use ChatGPT, Nika. I actually use Claude. I have subscriptions to Perplexity, Claude, and ChatGPT, but you use Claude when you want a deeper answer. If it's
Okay.
something quick, like something that has to do with around the house, like literally, I was in a supermarket yesterday looking for some evaporated milk for the mac and cheese for Easter, and I was like, "What is the what is the 371 milliliters?" Because I'm in Bahamas, and I was like, "This is
Mhm.
9 ounces. I need a 13-ounce can. What's going on?" And it was like, "No, that's 13.3 ounces." It literally just was like, "No, this is correct." Okay, so you're gonna go to these five podcasters.
Mhm.
Then with the YouTube channel, Masterminds Podcasts, and this is all people like specializing in Ghana discussions,
Okay.
expat lifestyle experiences, multimedia Ghana. Those are all YouTubes. All
Mm.
right. So I'm gonna send you this list, but
Please
this
do.
is the starting point. You
Okay.
want to give them. You may want to launch the freebies on their platforms first. Whatever you discuss with them, right?
Okay.
This is you start with your 1 minute wow, and then you move on from there.
And that makes total sense. Okay. And I'm really happy that you just gave me another nugget, another angle to utilize, AI, because I'm
Mhm.
definitely going to ruminate and then expand on that just get more information, for
Yeah,
sure.
because I don't feel like AI relieves us from thinking.
It
This
doesn't.
is what I feel like it makes us better. I feel like AI turbocharges what I thought was possible before. Before I thought with limits, and
Mhm.
now I'm like, well, tell me everything I can do with this thing, and it will. I mean, I still may not be able to do it, but it's gonna spit it back out to me anyway and make me think like, oh, I can do that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I also like how it challenges me to see things in alternative ways, like other ways I may not have either thought about it or ways to enhance my thought process in an expansion kind of way. Like, hey, add this on to it. And it's just like,
Yep.
oh, I can do that, or I should do this. Um,
Right.
so I love it.
One of
Thank you.
my last week I was on the Lennox and Parker State of Black Woman Roundtable, right? And it's just talking
Love
about,
that.
well, you saw it.
Great. Yes.
Thank you. So at the
Phenomenal.
end, her last question was, what is it that you wish for everybody who's watching this, man, woman, whoever it is? And I
Mhm.
told her, I said, the one thing that I wish for everybody who's on here, like one person said, like, I hope you don't have imposter syndrome. I have never felt imposter syndrome because I've always been more than willing to suffer the consequences of me being me. And so for that reason, faking like I'm someone else, I'm just not good at that because and I get consequences all the time. Always some hate, somebody trying to block you, or
Mhm.
somebody who's like, who does she think she is to speak freely when I'm in here and I can't? That person is usually the person who is going to add a little bit more, obstacles in your way.
Yeah.
I don't ever feel like I fully understand the concept of imposter syndrome, but what I do understand is thinking with limits. And so because you have AI as a tool, my feedback was I hope everyone listening, that dream, goal,
Mhm.
vision that you had that you thought was too big, too weird, too outlandish, like something that there's no way I'm ever going to do that. So let me think realistically, that
Mhm.
you can rip that band aid off, open up that thought again and have AI help you to figure out how to make that thing happen, because we have so many things on our list of, things that we've always wanted to do. And for me, it could be something as small, and I do mean small. I put the limits on it. It's not that it's too outlandish, but I've always wanted to be a nightclub owner. Always. Like, I'm talking about since probably high school. But then every time I think about it, I'm like, oh, that's not unrealistic. I need to think about something that's more realistic. Like, I put my own limits on it.
Mhm.
It can be done. I need systems. What does that look like? Methodically, step one, step two, step three, all the way to the end. And I'm hoping that what we can all get out of AI is that it opens us up to the things that we were closed off to because of our own self-imposed limitations. That's it. All right. So you got the podcasts and the
Mhm.
YouTube pages. You're going after those, right? So we already talked about rejiggering the bios on all of your social platforms,
Mhm.
establishing your email partner, drafting the e-blast for the Amazon bestseller thing, content for the Amazon bestseller thing. We talked about establishing the landing page for the freebie, getting
Mhm.
the e-blast drafted for the freebie, getting the content done for the freebie, and launching that. You can use the freebie as some kind of leverage or just a value add to get onto some of these podcasts. Like, if you make it something that they are able to give to their audience
Mhm.
first. So we talked about the social proof, the media angles. Now, in terms of just ultimately building authority, once you start to sit on those podcasts and get some of these media interviews, and it could be something, it doesn't always have to be a media outlet. It is the year 2026. If you have a friend who has 500,000 subscribers on their Instagram page and they talk about travel to the motherland or they talk about tourism experiences, that's just as good as any media outlet. It still gives you access to the same eyes, right?
Okay.
um,
Mhm.
you want to try to get on those. Like, I have a friend, Denai Marari, brilliant genius. She's always wanted to be married, and so she turned her burning desire for wanting to be married into an Instagram page called Black Marriage Movement. So thinking, talking about Black marriage constantly, and she's at 500,000 subscribers. And she has opened up a whole line of business for herself with providing marriage counseling and couples therapy and all of these things. People travel to see her, and I'm telling you that is what you call taking advantage of the tech innovations that exist today
Okay.
and building authority. All right, so um, is there a Ghana expert? And I'm just looking at my notes. Is there a Ghana expert, an African travel specialist, or a diaspora connection advocate that you're friends with that you can interview on your Instagram live?
Actually, yes, I do believe. Well, I know that the tour guide and tour company that I used. He's like well vested. Like, he has so many amazing reviews. I want to say he hosted like Boris Cujo, a couple of celebrities. He's hosted there on his tours, and I actually am in communication with him frequently because I always have questions. Just especially when I was writing the book, I had a couple of questions. So I would reach out to him as well, and I'm pretty confident he would definitely come on. And he's just so knowledgeable because he lives there, of course, and it's his company. He started from the ground up, and it's doing incredibly well. So that may be a great resource to tap into and just get his feedback on a lot of things and bring him on board.
Wonderful. So, how many other people exist like him that you can interview?
Um, Off the top of my head, just thinking, especially with the experience there, I should be able. I would say starting out at least safely at least about 10, where that's like you said, 10 episodes, about 10
Mhm.
people. And then the great part is that he has amazing collaborations with them as well because they were part of the tour, so it's not difficult to get in contact with a lot of these people. And I'm
Exactly.
sure they will want to actually come on because it gives their business exposure as well. So
Absolutely.
great
So
partnership,
you need
collaboration.
get those things scheduled
Okay.
ASAP so
Okay.
that you can, get those interviews in the can, start cutting
Mhm.
up clips, and get those things out there. That's all part of the authority building flywheel.
And a lot of these,
Social proof, the media angles, the podcast, the Instagram lives, it all works together.
and I was going to say too that, and now that you have my wheels churning, the great thing is I have video of all of these experiences with these people that I, like you said, I can tie into and incorporate as well. So
I really love the
this
cooking.
is what's so great about Headline Heroes, like because this is just an angle I wouldn't have thought to piece together. Because again, all creatives think differently, and sometimes you can get so linear, like book focused on what you do, and not think about other experiences and how they tie in, like this.
Absolutely.
So thank you for like this outlook. I appreciate it
Yep.
for
All
sure.
right. So we have like 10 minutes left.
Yes.
Any other questions about any of the other stuff that we have talked about here?
Yeah. So this was all amazing information. And I'm definitely going to put it into focus and start, jumping on all of it. And another question I have, is it okay? Because oftentimes too, now that the book is doing well, and people that I know, and also potential clients too, who want to come on board and get information about how to market their books, or even how to, processes they should take. Should I? Because as you know, again, I'm only one person, and I'm trying to still focus on the book and launching different campaigns over here. How would you recommend that I kind of merge the two, like still assist clients with their books or projects, or, in conjunction with still pushing forward my book over here and the campaign? Should I focus solely on one area right now, or still definitely merge the two? Because sometimes I do feel stretched.
Well, sometimes we can't even afford to focus on one area because one side is where we make the money.
Right.
The other side is a creative venture. So, I mean, living in the real world, we definitely can't slow up on the side that actually brings in income or revenue. But what I would say is that this is where the time to be alive is so like amazing, and it's just awesome because we get a chance to automate a lot of things that people, like I said in a panel that I did in Atlanta a couple weeks ago, like 20-30 years ago, people would be standing there trying to fax information out one at a time with that crazy ass fax whining sound in their ear, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
Now you can distribute information at the speed of light. So I would say that the things that you can automate should get your attention quickly, and we can't take a long time to do anything, right? What we need to do is get that email client set up as soon as possible. That could be done today. You can get off of this call today, go to kit.com or Klaviyo or Active Campaign or Constant Contact, pick a partner, get it set up, put your logo in, get those e-blasts for the next 4 to 6 weeks done. Right.
Okay.
But that does not need to take days and days and days. The faster you automate something and get it off your list, the faster you can. If you have a partner who works with you on social media, because sometimes I know that social media thing, that's a full-time job.
It's a lot.
That's a full-time job. Like getting that planned out and done at least for the next 4 weeks will help you to get that. Those are must-haves.
Yeah.
Must-haves for somebody with a book out in the marketplace.
Agreed.
Getting reviews also critical, and reviews initially come from family and friends until you get a chance to provide some value to somebody who is happy to give you a review, because you added value to what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
You definitely need to get those things done. When you're servicing your clients, most of the time, in order to keep that client happy, you cannot have any kind of disturbance in how you deliver your service, the quality of service that you provide. Nothing can change about that. So if there's ways to automate that part right there, get on that as well.
Okay.
If there's something that you do for your author clients that you can automate so that it can be even better. I find that even like, for example, we just worked on the Apple TV Imperfect Women campaign. We did screenings in New York, Atlanta, Houston, and we have a huge digital ad campaign going on, right? Shade Room, Spiritual Word, Black Marriage Movement. um, Blex, Ice Cream Convos. All of these guys have posts going up, right? For the last 3 weeks. Um, AI makes every part of what we do better, more creative, more efficient. It's like us, but turbocharged.
It is.
It really is. It's
It
just
is.
turbocharged. The ad creative, the marketing ideas that we came up with for the actual event. We had a confessionals booth because the show is like a real messy 8 episode series, just like filled with sex and backstabbing, lies and scandal. And who was interested in that? Somebody who's a hardcore soap fan who
Mhm.
likes to see a lot of mess. So tuning into the mess and getting people a chance to participate in it. So at all 3 cities on the night of the event, you could go into the confessions booth and say, the messiest thing I did all year was I flirted with my boyfriend's barber. Whatever you wanted to say. I'm making stuff up. Some people said things that they didn't even want. They're like they got up in the middle of the confessional and walked out like, oh, I got to take this mic off because y'all gonna put this on TV. And people had so much fun with it. But the point of all of that is that you have to figure out how you're going to use AI to enhance you,
Yeah.
to take the value you bring and 10x it and get it done fast, quicker. Because the one thing we know you're not getting is more hours in the day.
At all.
That's the one thing we know we're not getting anymore. So how do we take what we are getting and maximize it and squeeze more out of it?
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like sometimes my mom will be like, "Can I help you with something?" I'm like, "Yeah, you could add 5 more hours to my day." She's like, "Can't do that." It's like a running joke between us. And so with AI, you can literally make more time in your schedule.
Mhm.
And that's what I talk about in our AI automation for our entrepreneurs course is buying back 5 to 10 more hours in your schedule by automating what you can. You can't automate everything. Like James is right. Like that, you have to have original thought. The sauce can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Your secret sauce, because people know when you've used AI if there's no soul in it.
Mhm.
There's no you in it, if there's no secret sauce, if there's no original thought in it. Like now when you look at Instagram captions, they all have the same exact format because they all came from Chat GPT. And you're like, this is like it's the stacked format. It's that. And you can do like it's just classic,
Yeah.
right? You have to have you in there.
Yeah.
You have to have you in there. That can't go anywhere. So how do you take that and then supercharge it?
Yeah. For sure. Well, you've given me a lot of homework and I'm thankful for it. Some great starting points for sure. Like starting and end points. So I'm really happy and I'm excited to just put all of this into motion because like I said, it was a lot, but I'm gonna definitely run with it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And as always, these conversations are needed, they're necessary, and they're effective. And I can't thank you enough.
Thank you for being in Headline Heroes. I'm so excited to be part of your journey. This is
Thank
a very exciting stuff for me. I'm fired up about helping all my entrepreneurs. And I am congratulations on the Amazon bestsellers thing. That is super freaking exciting. All your bios on all your pages needs to change
Okay.
today.
Yeah.
And we need to get that done, get those e-blasts out and start building from there.
Will do. I'm definitely going to hop off and immediately hop onto all of that. And I can't wait to connect with you again soon.
Me
Thank you so
too.
much, Shante. Thank you.
Thank you, T. Marie. I will see you soon.
Yes. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for listening.
Everyone. Bye.
Bye.